So good morning to everyone. Good morning to everyone. This is CA Sachin Jain from Jodhpur, and today we are going to start our discussion on a very important topic, on a very important segment. But before moving ahead, I just want one confirmation from your side that my voice is audible and the PDF file is visible to you. Just comment in the chat box. Chat box is open in front of me so that we can start the session. So once confirm me that the that my voice is audible and the PDF file is visible. Okay, I'm getting reply from certain persons that my voice is audible and the PDF file is visible to you. Okay, if anyone have any issue, can comment in the chat box. So in our today's session, this session is very much unique and a special session because this session is especially for the GST officers and staff. Okay, and in our today's session, we are going to discuss on a very important topic, that is GST audit and assessment. Okay, currently I know very well that you all are currently I know very well that you all are the GST officers and staff, and I am in front of GST officers and staff. So I know you are regularly doing that GST audit and assessment. Currently, you are doing the audit for financial year 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, and you are also going to deal with multiple scrutiny of returns. Okay. But in our today's session, we are going to discuss certain provisions of GST law regarding audit and assessment with practical guide. Okay. And this session is for 2 hours. Okay, we had started the session at 9:30 a.m. and we will conclude the session around at 11:30 a.m. So it is being requested to you, kindly be live. Okay, attend this session in live mode itself. One more information is there. This session, the mode of communication will be Hindi and English both. Certain examples is in Hindi, but we will cover maximum content in English language. Okay. If you have any doubt regarding any point, regarding any topic, regarding any section, then you are free to raise the question in the chat box. Okay. Because I just want कि मुझे ये नहीं लगना चाहिए कि I am in front of camera and I am giving lectures in front of camera. This is a session of discussion. We are going to discuss multiple things regarding GST audit and assessment in this session. And for discussion, there is requirement that the session should be interactive. So this is my humble request to you, be live during the complete session. And if you have any question, if you have any doubt, you can comment in the chat box. I will provide you the reply immediately. I will not wait for the end of the session. Okay. With that note, we are going to start the session. So first question, what do you mean by that audit and assessment? First question is come to us when we are talking about the audit and assessment. Then the first point is that what do you mean by that audit and assessment? So we can say audit is the technique to check the accuracy. Okay. At the time of audit, you are going to do the audit of the GST taxpayers. At that time, you are checking the GST returns. You are checking the various forms submitted by the GST personals. Okay, GST taxpayers, and you are going to check the same, and you are going to check the accuracy of the returns, accuracy of the data, accuracy of the sales, purchase, and all that. That means in that case, you are going to do the audit. That means audit is a technique to check the accuracy of the data filed by the taxpayers. Okay, so second thing हमारे पास में क्या है? Audit can be done by others. So audit is an examination to verify the accuracy. Okay. In this session, I am going to share with you the provisions of law. I know practically you are doing the things, but कहीं ना कहीं पे हमारे पास में सेक्शन का नॉलेज नहीं होता है, प्रोविजन ऑफ लॉ का नॉलेज नहीं होता है. इन दैट केस जो असेसमेंट ऑर्डर्स पास होते हैं, कई बार उसमें दिक्कत आ जाती है, एंड ड्यू टू लैक ऑफ नॉलेज एंड ड्यू टू सर्टन हम कहते हैं मिस हो गया वहां से, उसकी वजह से दिक्कत आ जाती है. सो इन दिस सेशन आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर विद यू द provisions of law. So audit means to check the accuracy of data, and we are starting this session with the basic, the meaning of audit and assessment, and we are cover the advanced level of your audit and assessment. We will also cover the provisions regarding demand and recovery in this session itself. So audit is an examination to verify the accuracy of data. So कोई बंदा चेक कर रहा है, खुद से तो खुद की एक्यूरेसी चेक नहीं हो सकती है. So audit can be done by others. In case of assessment, assessment is a judgment that my sales is that, my purchase is that, my refund is that, my reverse charge mechanism supply is that. That means assessment is just an judgment. That means assessment can be done by himself. जब मैं अपनी सेल्स डिक्लेयर कर रहा हूं in my GSTR 3B, when I am going to declare my purchase, when I am going to declare my RCM related liability, at that time I am doing the self assessment that my sales is that, my purchase is that, my reverse charge mechanism liability is that. That means assessment can be done. Assessment can be done by himself. Assessment is the first step. जब आप assessment करोगे, when I am going to do the assessment of my sales, purchase and liabilities, after that departmental authority is going to do the audit. In that case, audit is the second step. So basically अब कभी भी हमारे पास में क्वेश्चन आए कि what do you mean by the term audit and assessment, or what is the difference between audit and assessment? So audit is just to take the accuracy, and assessment is a judgment. Now we are coming to the provisions of GST law. Okay, this is this definition is a very basic definition. I had taken the definition from the journal clauses. Okay, there is no specific in that. Now we are going to discuss the specific points from the GST law. So what is the type of assessment is there, and what is the type of audit is there, we are going to discuss. So when as a registered person, आज मुझे ये मानना I am the registered person and you all are the GST authorities. Actually, you all are the GST authorities and I am the registered person. So take this situation practically also. In that case, I am a registered person. Okay. And at that time, I am filing my GSTR 3B return. I am filing my GST returns. I am paying my tax. At that time, I am doing the assessment that my sales is that, my purchase is that. That means जब मैं खुद से assessment कर रहा हूँ, when I am doing the assessment by myself, at that time I am doing the self assessment. So the first type of assessment is your self assessment. Sir, I am promising you that after this session, जो audit आप लोग कर रहे हो, उसका नजरिया आपका change हो जाएगा. Okay, you are getting multiple things from that session itself. So then next, I am going to declare my sales, I am going to declare my purchase. At that time, I am saying that I am doing the assessment. So the assessment is a self-assessment. But एक situation ऐसी आई, in that case, I am not able to decide the value and rate. Suppose मैंने कोई supply कर दी, and I am not able to decide what will be the rate applicable on this particular type of supply. मुझे rate पता नहीं है, इस वजह से मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? I am not able to timely file the return. Okay, so उसके उस condition में, उस situation में, I have the best option that I can take the help of the GST. I can take help of the GST officers. Just a single second. So जब मैं अपना वैल्यू डिसाइड नहीं कर पा रहा हूं, जब मैं रेट डिसाइड नहीं कर पा रहा हूं, एट दैट टाइम आई कैन टेक द हेल्प ऑफ द जीएसटी ऑफिसर्स एंड आई कैन अप्लाई टू द जीएसटी ऑफिसर्स. आई एम नॉट एबल टू डिसाइड द रेट इन दिस पर्टिकुलर केस. कैन यू प्लीज डिसाइड द सेम? जब मैं डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी के पास में जा रहा हूं कि सर आई एम नॉट एबल टू डिसाइड, और आप क्या इसको डिसाइड कर सकते हो, और इन फ्यूचर आप उसका क्या कर देना, फाइनल असेसमेंट कर देना, आप फाइनली उसको डिसाइड कर लेना विद ऑल फैक्ट्स. नाउ just provide me the provisional assessment, that is provisional amount, that is called as your provisional assessment. Conclusively we can say, when the taxpayer is not able to decide the value or rate at that particular time, in that case the taxpayer can file an application in front of the departmental authority that sir I am not able to decide the rate and value, can you please decide for this time. After certain time we are going to you can decide the final with the facts and with the provisions, and I will pay you the amount, whatever will be the amount in case of your final assessment. That means at that time departmental authority is going to provisionally assess your liability, and that assessment is called as your provisional assessment. Yes, recording of this video is available. The recording is available on the official YouTube channel of Tax Guru itself. But this is again my request to you, be live and attend this session live. We will take multiple examples. I will share you multiple practical scenarios in these 2 hours. Third, suppose a person who is liable for take the registration under GST, but he has not taken the registration. We all know there is a turnover limit is applicable in case of GST. If the turnover of the particular taxpayer got exceeded by the specified limit, in that case, that taxpayer has to take the registration. But suppose उसने GST registration नहीं लिया, and departmental authority has got the information that the turnover of Mr. Sachin Jain is crossed the specified limit, that is 20 lakh rupees, and he is liable to take the registration. In that case, मैंने registration नहीं लिया, then the power is in the hand of the departmental authority that they can do your assessment as an unregistered person. वो आपको notice देंगे कि sir, your turnover got exceeded by the specified limit and you had not taken the GST registration and you are not going to pay the taxes. So we are going to do the assessment as an unregistered person. That is what is the next concept. Fourth concept, suppose I had taken the registration, but I am not going to file my returns. I had not filed my final return, or I had not filed my regular GSTR 3B or GSTR 1 return. In that case, also departmental authority has the power to assess my liability on the basis of the fact which is available in the hand of departmental authority, and that type of assessment is called as your non-return filers assessment. That means as per GST law, there is 4 type of assessments are available. One is self-assessment, another is provisional assessment, next one is assessment of unregistered person, and fourth one is assessment of non-registered person. अभी तक हमने केवल इसका बेसिक देखा है. We are going to discuss in deep, but till now just comment me in the chat box that the definition of audit and assessment and the type of assessment is okay for you. I am expecting reply from each and everyone. And in this session, this is also my humble request. जब भी मैं आपको reply देने को बोलूं, please reply in the chat box because this is in a mode of satisfaction for me. So I am waiting for your reply in the chat box that the audit and assessment definition and the type of assessment is okay for you. Now we are going to discuss the next concept, type of audit. Type of assessment is done, and now we have the concept of type of audits. So when departmental authority is going to do the audit, multiple times we are getting that the departmental audit, you all are going to share with the notices regarding the departmental audit, business audit, GST, EDT 01 and all that. That situation is called by the audit by departmental, that is departmental audit. कई बार क्या होता है, मल्टीपल टाइम देयर इज अ कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी इन द नेचर ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन. कई बार ट्रांजैक्शन बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्प्लेक्स होते हैं और उसके लिए देयर इज अ रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ एक्सपर्ट ओपिनियन. इन दैट केस you can refer that particular audit, you can allot that particular audit to your empaneled chartered accountant and cost accountant, and that audit is called as your special audit because that audit is done by the special person, that is chartered accountant and cost accountant. Okay, and power in the hand to allot that special audit, chartered accountants and cost accountant is in the hand of the assistant commissioner. Okay, so Type of assessment: self-assessment, provisional assessment, unregistered person, non-return filers. Type of audit: one is by the departmental authority and another is by the special person, that is chartered accountant and cost accountant. Now, we are going to discuss all these type of audit, all these types of assessment in a very deep way. Okay, in a detailed way, so that you got the points. Now, सबसे पहला हमने पढ़ा था फर्स्ट टाइप ऑफ असेसमेंट वी हैड कंप्लीटेड, दैट इज आवर सेल्फ असेसमेंट. सेक्शन 59 of CGST Act. Sir, as a departmental authority, as a GST officer, this is also your responsibility that you should have certain knowledge regarding the sections. Okay, when you are going to issue notices, you are providing the sections. There is no issue with that. But when a chartered accountant come to your office regarding the case of audit, in that case, there is requirement that you should have the knowledge of the sections of GST, so that you can present the sections, you can argue with that chartered accountant or that professional in that specific case. Okay, so I am sharing with you the sections also. First, self-assessment, section 59. और सेल्फ असेसमेंट की डेफिनेशन में गवर्नमेंट ने सिर्फ इतना सा लिखा है, they proposes, they written that all the section which is filed under section 39 is treated as your self-assessment. Now, what are the returns we are going to file in section 39? I am going to take the examples, and with the help of example, I am going to share with you the complete series. Okay. So now, section 39. Suppose I am a regular person. Okay, my turnover had got exceeded by the 1.5 CR and I am a regular taxable person. In that case, I have to file the monthly return. I have to make the payment of taxes on monthly basis. In that case, when I am going to make the payment of taxes to the government, that is when I am going to file my GSTR 3B return, that is called as my self. Because while filing my GSTR 3B return, I am declaring my sales, I am declaring my purchase, I am declaring my reverse charge related liabilities, I am declaring my reversals on account of section 40, rule 42 and 43. I am going to discuss, I am going to provide the details regarding the 17.5 related blocked credit. I am going to provide the reversal regarding the other. Okay. So while filing my GSTR 3B return, I am doing the self-assessment. Next situation. I am a composition registered person. That means I have taken the registration under composition scheme. My turnover is below 1.5 CR rupees in case of goods, and in case of services, my turnover is below 50 lakh rupees. Okay. इस सेशन में मैं आप लोगों के साथ जो रिलेटेड प्रोविजंस डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ, रिलेटेड जो टर्म्स डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ, उसके भी प्रोविजंस आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर विद यू, so that your concept will be clear in that matter. Okay. Now, I am a composition registered person, and in that case, my voice is not clear. Shivam saying that my voice is not clear. I think there is no issue with voice, and if just comment in the chat box that the voice is okay. Shivam, please check at your end, because I suppose there is no issue with voice at my end. My voice is not. Yes, voice is okay. So, suppose I am registered as a composition taxable person, and as I am registered under composition taxable person, when I am going to file my quarterly return, that is CMT 08. Okay. For paying the taxes at that time, I am saying that I am doing my self-assessment, because in the form CMP 08, I am declaring my liability and I am paying the tax at a certain concessional rate. Okay. So, in that case, a regular taxable person, when you are going to file the GSTR 3B return, that is called as your self-assessment. When the person who is registered under composition scheme and filing the CMP 08, we are saying that this person is going to do the self-assessment. Third one, in case of input service distributor. What do you mean by that input service distributor? Suppose one head office, my head office is in Rajasthan, and I have multiple branches in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and all that. In that case, if the head office has bought certain products and head office is going to distribute that product to various branches, in that case, input tax credit related to that, head office need to transfer that input tax credit to the various branches who are going to utilize those products. In that case, as a head office, I need to transfer that input tax credit to my branches. So I can say, when I am going to transfer the input tax credit, I am declaring my liability. I am declaring that I am going to transfer this particular input tax credit to my Gujarat branch, to my Maharashtra branch, to my Tamil Nadu branch. In that case, I am doing the self assessment, because मैं मेरे self assessment के basis पे मेरे turnover के ratio में ही तो input transfer कर रहा हूँ. So I am doing the self assessment. Fourth one, TDS TCS deductor. If someone is going to provide the services to the governmental organization, governmental authority, and the contract value is in excess of 2.5 lakh rupees, in that case, there is requirement of TDS deductor. In that case, TDS deduction के केस में जो बंदा TDS deduct कर रहा है, जो एजेंसी, जो अथॉरिटी TDS deduct कर रही है, they are also going to doing the self assessment. On the basis of the self assessment, they are going to declare the liabilities. Okay, last one is your non-resident taxable person, where a non-resident taxable person is going to register, and non-resident taxable person has to also file the monthly returns. And in that case, when non-resident taxable person is going to file the monthly return, at that time that person is also going to declare the liability and doing the self-assessment. Conclusively, we can say when we are going to pay the taxes to the government, on the basis of our sales, our purchase, our distribution of input tax credit, our TDS deduction, at that time we are doing the self-assessment. Okay, now we are going to read this provision from the section 39 itself, and when we are going to read that provision, you got that we had already covered the section 39 completely. So, section 39 subsection 1 says about when someone is going to file the GST or 3B return, at that time, we are saying that that person is doing the self-assessment. One more concept is there. Sir, एक important information है, whenever you are going to read any law, whether it is a GST law, whether it is an income tax law, whenever there is a proviso, give more important to that. जब हम कोई गुड्स या फिर कोई प्रोडक्ट बाय करने जाते हैं, एट दैट टाइम इफ देयर विल बी एनी स्टार मार्क्स, in that case we are going to carefully check that star marks, because we know that all terms and conditions are mentioned in that star marks, and that terms and conditions can be harmful for us. So same, when you are going to read any type of law, in that case this is your responsibility. Read the proviso carefully. In that case, in this proviso, they provided that if the taxpayer has adopted the quarterly return monthly payment scheme, that is QRMP scheme, in that case also, while doing the QRMP, while opting the QRMP scheme, in that case the taxpayer is going to pay the taxes on quarterly basis, because वो quarterly basis पे GST or 3B return file करेगा, और at that time when the taxpayer is going to file that GST or 3B return on quarterly basis, that time is to be called as the self. Okay. Sabita ji is asking that how many GSTN can be obtained against a PAN number. So there is no limit. You can take multiple registrations, but the GSTN should be genuine. Okay, there is no issue with the number of registrations. Next, subsection 2 is talks about the composition taxable person. When the composition taxable person is going to file the CMP 08 return, at that time we treat that that person is going to do the self-assessment. TDS deductor. When the TDS deductor is going to file the return and declare the liability, at that time we are saying that that person is going to doing the self-assessment. In case of input service distributor, when the input service distributor is going to file the return on the GSTN common portal, at that time we are saying that the person is going to do the self-assessment. And in case of non-resident taxable person, also when we going the non-taxable person is going to non-resident taxable person is going to file the return and paying the taxes, we are saying that that person is going to do the self-assessment. Okay, now क्या जीएसटी के रिटर्न का टाइम पीरियड एक्सटेंड हो सकता है? सो कमिश्नर हैज द पावर, वो रीजन को रिकॉर्ड कर सकता है. कमिश्नर हैज द पावर टू रिकॉर्ड द रीजंस, एंड बाय रिकॉर्डिंग द रीजंस कमिश्नर कैन एक्सटेंड द टाइमलाइन टू फाइल द जीएसटी रिटर्न. दिस इज द पावर व्हिच इज इन हैंड ऑफ द कमिश्नर. ओके, सेक्शन 7 सबसेक्शन 7 ऑफ सेक्शन 39 हम लोग बोलते हैं जीएसटी में सेट ऑफ के प्रोविजन है. दैट मींस if I made any outward supply, in that case I need to pay the taxes to the government, but while paying the taxes to the government I can utilize the input tax credit which is available in my electronic credit ledger. That means I can set off my liability from the इलेक्ट्रॉनिक क्रेडिट लेजर। तो हम लोग बोलते हैं जीएसटी लॉ में ये लिखा हुआ है। सो दिस इज मेंशन्ड इन सेक्शन 39 सबसेक्शन 7 itself that in case of your regular person you are eligible to adjust your input tax credit, set off your input tax credit, but in case of composition taxable person is not eligible to claim the benefit of input tax credit because that person is going to pay the taxes at a concessional rate. Okay. Subsection 8 is talk about that when the turnover is nil, in that case also you need to file the return. Currently GSTN has provided that facility that before filing the previous period return you cannot file the next month return. But for financial year 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, there was multiple lacunas was available on that GSTN portal itself, and due to that people can file the return without filing the return of the previous period. So if there is any issue for financial year 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, and taxpayer is going to give the contention that sir my turnover is nil, hence I have not filed the return, in that case you can take the reference of section number 39 subsection 8, that as per section 39 subsection 8, if your turnover is nil then also you have to file the returns, and if you are not going to file the return there is penal provision is applicable on you. Subsection 9, section 39 subsection 9 says that if there is any wrong data provided by you, filed by you in your GST return, then in that case you can file the amendment in the GST return as per the timeline provided in section 16 subsection 4. Now your question is that sir, what is the timeline which is mentioned in section 16 subsection 4? So currently for a particular financial year, suppose for financial year 22-23, the last date to amend any record is your 30th November of next financial year, or the filing of annual return, whichever is earlier will be your date till the amendment can be done by the tax. You cannot file your next period return without filing the previous period return. So that is what is the complete content. That is what is the complete content regarding the self-assessment section 59, and what are the returns which is covered under section 59 is your section 39 you need to refer. We had completed the section 59 also as well as the section 39. Yahan tak. Regarding the concept of cross charge and input service distributor, I will try to prepare one more video on that because there is certain emphasis required in this matter. So we'll try to prepare an video for that because we have the limited time. So we are not going to take other topics in that ITC notification, latest notification regarding. I will try to prepare the video. Although if you want the simplified notes on ITC notifications, जो अभी notifications आए हैं 50th GST Council meeting, 49th GST Council meeting, then in that case you can text me on my WhatsApp number. I will share you the PDF file regarding that, and also anyone required this PDF file, then also you can connect with me over WhatsApp call. WhatsApp message, you just need to text me over WhatsApp. I will share you the relevant PDF file and relevant notifications. Okay. So once confirm me in the chat box that sir the concept of self-assessment is okay for you completely. Then after I can take the next point and next session, that is section number 60, provisional assessment. Around 60 people are there and I am getting reply from only 1 and 2. I am requesting everyone please give the reply in the chat box so that this session will be interactive. Because यहाँ पर मैं आपसे 1-to-1 connect तो नहीं कर सकता हूँ, but through your messages I can connect with you. I got that confirmation that you are getting the points which I am deliberating to you, and this session is useful to you. Okay. Now we are going to discuss the next concept, that is section number 60 of CGST Act, that is your self provisional assessment. Okay. Commissioner can extend the timeline of filing the GST return in case of certain circumstances, just like there is failure of GST and portal, there is certain state specific circumstances के वहां पे कुछ ऐसे इवेंट हो गए जिसकी वजह से रिटर्न फाइलिंग पॉसिबल नहीं है, कुछ जो है नेचुरल कैलामिटी वहां पर हो गई है. In that case, all these are the situation. In that case, commissioner can extend the timeline of the return, and if there is any genuine thing is you, in that case you can share that content with your commissioner can extend the date on the basis of the fact. Okay, so regarding provisional assessment, I am going to share with you the example, and with the help of that example, I am going to share with you the concept of the provisional assessment. Suppose, sir, be concentrate. Suppose I am a registered person, Sachin Jain, okay, and I have made one specific supply, and in that case, I am not able to decide the value of that particular supply. Okay, मैं उसकी value decide नहीं कर पा रहा. So I am not able to decide the value in that specific case. मैं उसकी value decide नहीं कर पा रहा. Okay. In that case, I have the option that I had made that particular supply in the month of July 2023, but I am not able to decide, and I have to file my return. In that case, I have one option. I can go to the departmental authority and say that, sir, I had made this particular specific supply, and in that case, I am not able to decide the value of the particular supply. Okay, so kindly you can assess my liability in that specific case. So departmental authority बोलेगी आप दौड़े दौड़े अभी मेरे पास आ तो गए, but I need some time to decide your value in that specific case. तो अपन बोलेंगे सर यहाँ पर पेनल्टी मेरे ऊपर कंटिन्यू कर रही है, सो क्या आप एक बार प्रोविजनली यहाँ पर मेरी लायबिलिटी को असेस कर सकते हो, और बाद में अपन क्या करेंगे, विद इन द गिवन टाइम वी आर गोइंग टू डू द फाइनल असेसमेंट. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ फाइनल असेसमेंट आई विल डिपॉजिट द टैक्सेस टू द गवर्नमेंट इफ देयर इज एनी पेबल और इफ देयर इज एनी रिसीवेबल, व्हाटएवर विल बी द सिचुएशन. सो इन दैट केस, when the taxpayer has filed the application to the departmental authority that, sir, I am not able to decide the value in this specific case, in that case departmental authority is going to demand certain documents that, sir, provide me the nature of that liability and nature of the transaction which you had done, the implication, the HSM code and all that, the circumstances, the pace of supply, all these things please share with me. On the basis of the information given by the taxpayer to the departmental authority is going to pass the provisional assessment order. Departmental authority बोलेगी on the basis of this I am going to give you the provisional assessment order and you need to pay the taxes on this specific amount. In that case, provisional assessment order के basis पे आपको tax का payment करना है. You need to pay the taxes. After payment of taxes, departmental authority, आपका provisional assessment हो गया. After that, departmental authorities go through with the complete matter in a detailed way, and after that, departmental authority required any additional document. In that case, departmental authority is going to demand that document from your side, and on that additional documents you need to file, and after the complete study, departmental authority is going to issue the final assessment order, and on the basis of final assessment order, if there is any tax payable or if there is any tax receivable, that will be settled on. Sir, how the receivable and payable is come? Suppose at the time of provisional assessment, departmental authority has declared your liability as 1 lakh rupees, and at the time of final assessment, your liability found as 1,20,000 rupees. In that case, net 20,000 rupees you need to pay to the departmental authority with the interest at the rate of 18%. Now we can take a reverse situation. Suppose at the time of provisional assessment you had paid 1 lakh rupees. Now at the time of final assessment your liability is 80,000 only. In that case 20,000 is refundable to you, and this amount is refunded by the departmental authority, or on that refund amount you are getting the interest at the rate of 6%. So as a departmental authority, you need to take this concept, you need to take this note in your mind that while doing the provisional assessment, you need to do the final assessment also within a given time. Also, you need to recover the interest if there is any excess amount at the time of final assessment. Now, I am going to elaborate this example. In this case, suppose at the time of provisional assessment, the liability was 1 lakh rupees. At the time of final assessment, the liability found as 1,20,000 rupees. So departmental authority wants an assurance that at the time of final assessment, कहीं taxpayer ने मना कर दिया, I am not going to make the payment of the taxes. So government ने बोला at the time of provisional assessment, taxpayer has to give a bank guarantee. Taxpayer has to give a bank guarantee or security and bond. Okay, one bond and one security to the departmental authority, or at the time of final assessment, after paying the required tax, departmental authority is going to give back to you your security and your bond. So basically, that is what is the concept of provisional assessment. You need to file that application to the departmental authority. Departmental authority is going to provisionally assess your liability, and after provisional analysis, departmental authority is going to pass that order, and you need to pay the taxes. After a given time, departmental authority is going for the final assessment, and after the final assessment, you need to pay the taxes, which is reversible or payable, whatever will be the situation. Or at the time of provisional assessment, you need to file one security with bond to the departmental authority regarding the assurance that at the time of final assessment you are going to pay the liability, and after final assessment, after paying your taxes, departmental authority is again going to give you back your bank guarantee and your security. That is what is the complete concept of your GST mechanism. Sir, complete example is clear for you, so that I can take this same example. We are going to read the same example from our module. One question is there from Pradeep ji. Sir, we are getting many GST notices under section 16 subsection 4 towards reversal of tax rate on account of delay in filing GST or 3B return in the subsequent financial year. Please, what's your view on this? Pradeep ji, this is a completely separate topic, because today we are going to discuss on audit and assessment from GST audit and departmental authority point of view. If you are getting these type of notices, I will try to prepare one small video on this issue, and I will put the same in by 1 to 2 days on the official channel of TaxGuru itself. Okay. One question is there, that what essential records she will call for audit apart from the books of accounts. Yes, this is an important question, and this is relevant to our today's topic, that what are the essential documents or what are the essential records which we required at the time for the audit. So this is my request to you. First, we are going to cover the various type of assessment, then various type of audit, and after that we'll take the example. We'll take this question, okay, regarding the documents. If at the time of final assessment, the liability is less. Suppose at the time of provisional assessment, the liability was 1 lakh rupees, and at the time of final assessment, the liability is 80,000 only. In that case, departmental authority is going to give you interest at the rate of 6%. In case of interest, there is just 3 rate is applicable. Whenever there is payable to the departmental authority or government, the interest rate is 18%, and whenever there is a refund, the rate is 6%, but the refund is due to any departmental, any judgment or any decree. In that case, the rate of interest will be 9%. Okay. So records वाली बात, जो documents हमको demand करने हैं, we'll going to discuss. If I forgot to discuss that particular point, in that case, please मुझे ये at the end of session, please chat box के अंदर ये mark कर देना कि we are going to discuss on that, so that I will take the same at the end of the session. Okay. Also, if you have any question, any doubt regarding the GST audit and assessment as a departmental authority, you can connect with me anytime at on my WhatsApp number. Okay, you are free to raise the same. I will share with you my WhatsApp number, and if you want the PDF file, this is my WhatsApp number. You can take note of it, so that if you want any latest notification or this PDF file, or you want any discussion on the GST audit and assessment as a departmental authority, you can connect with me over this WhatsApp number. There is no issue with that. So now we are going to discuss the provisional assessment, okay, from the study module, from the notes. So whenever a person is unable to determine the value of goods or services in that case, or rate of tax in that case, they can apply to the proper officer for the provisional assessment, and proper officer is going to pass the order not later than 90 days. That means in case of provisional assessment as a departmental authority, you have to pass the provisional assessment order within 90 days from the date of application. That is what is your liability. So take note of it, that you need to pass the order within 90 days. Okay. Taxable person has to execute a bond. Okay. Person has to execute a bond with the proper amount, with the proper security to the proper officer at the time of provisional assessment. If there is any difference in future in the final assessment and provisional assessment, and if the taxpayer is not going to make the payment, then the amount can be realized from that particular. My number, I will share you the WhatsApp number in the chat box. And proper officer within a period of not exceeding 6 months from the date of communication of the order issued under subsection 1 pass the final assessment order. That means proper officer has to pass the final assessment order within the time period of 6 months from the provisional assessment order. जिस दिन उसने provisional assessment order दे दिया, उसके 6 month के अंदर proper officer has to pass the final assessment order. And with the circumstances, joint commissioner and additional commissioner can extend the period of that final assessment more 6 months, okay, further 6 months, and the commissioner has to power to extend the period for 4 years. That means proper officer has to do that final assessment within 6 months, and proper officer अगर वो 6 month में नहीं कर पाता है, in that case joint commissioner and additional commissioner has the power to extend the time period for further 6 months, and commissioner has the power to extend the time period for 4 years. So that is what is the extension concept as a departmental authority. If there is any circumstances found by you, in that case you can take the reference of these things. Now there is interest is applicable if there is any extra amount payable at the time of final assessment. In that case, the rate of interest will be 18%, and if there is any refund, in that case also interest shall be payable as per section 56 of the CGST Act. And as per the section 56 of CGST Act, there is 2 type of rate interest is applicable. 6% in case of normal refund, and 9% in case of refund is due to any judgment decree by any court and any department. Okay, so that is what is the complete concept of your provisional assessment. Now, one more important thing is there. First, we had learned the section 60 of CGST Act. That is what is talked about your provisional assessment. In GST Act, there is section and rules. Section आपको ये बताता है what you need to do, आपको क्या करना है, and rules tell how you need to do. Section ने बोल दिया कि you need to do the provisional assessment within this time period, and you need to do the provisional assessment and all those things. And but how you are going to do that provisional assessment? As a layman, if I need to file the provisional assessment application, then what is the form applicable? What is the procedure for that? So all the procedural guidelines are given by that rules. So कभी कोई पूछ ले why there is section and why there is rules, so section is talks about your what to do, and rules talks about how to do. Okay, now rule 98 of CGST rules is talked about the provisional assessment, and rule 98 says that if anyone, that is if taxpayer wants that provisional assessment, in that case taxpayer has to file an application in form GST ASMT 01. As a departmental authority, there is no requirement to memorize the type of application forms, but you just need to keep note of this, that this application is going to be used for this specific purpose. Okay, so taxpayer has to file the application for provisional assessment in form GST ASMT 01. Departmental authority, that is the proper officer is going to issue notice to that applicant in form GST ASMT 02 requiring certain documents, because for doing that provisional assessment, departmental authority requires certain documents. So how they can demand that documents? For that purpose, the GST ASMT 02 form is there. And the taxpayer is going to file the reply in form GST ASMT 03 regarding the requirements of that particular departmental authority. And finally, that proper officer is going to file the provisional assessment order in form GST ASMT 04. That means 1 में एप्लीकेशन आएगी, 2 में आपको नोटिस इश्यू करना है, 3 के अंदर वो रिप्लाई देगा, एंड 4 में यू नीड टू पास द प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट. ओके. एंड one bond is to be executed and security to be furnished not exceeding 25% of the bond. एक बॉन्ड आपको देना पड़ेगा और उस बॉन्ड के अमाउंट का 25% तक की आपको सब्सिडी देनी पड़ेगी इन फॉर्म जीएसटी ASMT 05. ओके. एंड आफ्टर द प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट, डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी वांट्स टू डू द final assessment, and for doing the final assessment, departmental authority is going to give you a notice in form GST ASMT 06 regarding the final assessment, that sir, we want to do the final assessment, so we require the following documents, so kindly give us the following documents, so we are going to do the final assessment. In form GST ASMT 07, departmental authority, after satisfaction, after getting all the information, giving you the final assessment order. और सर एट द टाइम ऑफ प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट आपने ASMT 05 के अंदर वो सिक्योरिटी और बॉन्ड दिए थे, उसको लेना भूल मत जाना. डोंट फॉरगेट टू टेक बैक दैट सिक्योरिटी एंड बॉन्ड, एंड फॉर टेकिंग बैक दैट सिक्योरिटी और बॉन्ड यू नीड टू फाइल एन एप्लीकेशन टू द डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी इन फॉर्म GST ASMT 08, एंड डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी इज गोइंग टू release your security within 7 days from the date of application in form GST ASMT 09. So as a departmental authority, application आएगी, you need to consider, you need to file the provisional assessment order, you need to take the bond and security, and after the specified time, you need to do the final assessment. After final assessment, you need to release the security and bond which is submitted by the taxpayer. कब से हम लोग बोल रहे हैं कि प्रॉपर ऑफिसर इज गोइंग टू डू द फाइनल असेसमेंट, प्रॉपर ऑफिसर इज गोइंग टू डू द प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट. देन सर, who is the proper officer? So the departmental and assistant commissioners, so the deputy commissioner and assistant commissioner is the proper officer for doing the provisional assessment. That is what is the complete concept of section 60, that is provisional assessment. और उसके regarding rule भी हमने डिस्कस कर दिया, ASMT 01 till ASMT 09. Each and everything is clear. Just comment me in the chat box that the provisional assessment is completely clear for you, so that I can take the next most important point, section 61, that is scrutiny of returns. This time I am expecting reply from each and everyone, because the provisional assessment concept was very important. I know very well Sunday है, आपको rest करना था, all those things, and you are there to attend the session. But please be with me. This session is really very much useful for you doing your audit and assessment. Now, scrutiny of returns. Now, scrutiny of returns. Departmental authority multiple times, and maximum of the taxpayers are getting the notices regarding the scrutiny of returns. When as a taxpayer I am going to log into the GSTN portal, and when I am going to the user services tab and under view additional notices tab, I found that particular scrutiny of returns. Okay, and as a taxpayer, this is my responsibility to file the reply within 30 days from the date of the issue of the GST ASMT 10, because the scrutiny, the notice of scrutiny is going by the departmental authority in form GST ASMT 10. Now, question is that in that scrutiny of returns, what is the parameter is going to cover by the departmental authority. So nowadays, or in the maximum cases, the departmental authority is going to demand for the difference between your GSTR 3B versus GSTR 1, your difference between GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B, your difference between GSTR 2B and GSTR 3B, your difference regarding your reverse charge mechanism liability, your difference regarding late filing of return, your difference regarding interest on account of late filing of return. These 4 to 5 parameters are there on which departmental authority is going to issue the GST A870-010. This is my humble submission to you that when you are going to do the scrutiny of returns and when you give the notice regarding GST A70-10 regarding the scrutiny of returns, in that case, you need to check other parameters also. You are just going to do the reconciliations and you are just going to provide the notices on the basis of the data given by the backend. Okay, you are receiving the data from backend and you are going to give the same notices to the departmental authority regarding the reconciliation. This is my humble submission to you. You need to check the reconciliations. There is no issue with that. But with checking of the reconciliation, you just need to consider certain other things also. Sales or purchase match हो रही है, sales from 3B or 1 match हो रही है, कहीं वो sales bogus तो नहीं है. You need to check. You need to check the data is matching from E-invoice and E-way portal or not. You need to check the HSN code mentioned on the GSTN portal is matched with the sales. You need to check that the ratio of purchase and sales is okay. I know very well these are the tasks which is done at the time of audit, but in case of scrutiny of return, you need to check these things basically. ऊपर से तो आप check करो कहीं कोई major default तो नहीं है यहाँ पे. You need to check the same. So, coming to the topic, in case of scrutiny of return, departmental authority is going to issue. You have to issue the notice in form GST A70-10. And the taxpayer has to file the reply within 30 days. Okay. And if the departmental authority is going to satisfy with that reply, in that case, they are going to pass the order in form GST A70-12 regarding drop proceeding. And as a taxpayer, I need to file the reply in form GST A70-11. Okay. And if the departmental authority is not going to satisfy with the reply, in that case, they can take the case under section 73 and 74. Sir, what do you mean by this section 73 and 74? We are going to discuss on that after half an hour. Okay. Currently, the situation is that in case of scrutiny of return, they are going to issue the notices. Taxpayer has to file the reply, and if satisfied, then drop the proceeding. If not satisfied, in that case, they are going to issue the proceeding under section 73, 74 by issuing the form GST DRC-01. Okay, GST DRC-01 will be reflected on the GSTN portal, and taxpayer has to file the reply. So, in case of the section 61 scrutiny of returns, अगर उसको ये लगता है there is any issue and departmental authority wants to check the correctness of the return, that the return filed by the taxpayer is correct, all the data is correct or not. So for that purposes, they can issue the notice regarding the scrutiny of returns. Explanation found acceptable, then drop the proceeding. No satisfactory explanation within the period of 30 days. In that case, the proceeding under section 73 or 74 will start by the departmental authority. That is what is the concept. So, section 61 talks about the scrutiny of returns. Rule number 99 of CGST rules talks about how we can do the scrutiny of returns. So, for that purpose, GST A70 issued by the departmental authority, the taxpayer has to file the reply from GST A70-11. And if the tax authority is going to satisfy with the reply of the taxpayer, in that case, tax authority is going to pass the order in form GST A70-12. That is what is the complete concept of scrutiny. What are the things you are going to check in scrutiny? We had discussed. What are the other things you need to check in case of your scrutiny? We had also done. Okay. One more important thing I want to share, that regarding the scrutiny of returns, the notice is auto-populated on the GSTN common portal. Okay. But this is not possible for the taxpayer each and every time to check that particular tab regularly. So you should shoot one mail to the particular taxpayer that sir, we had issued that GST A70-010 on the registered mail ID, so that taxpayer got the idea that, because as a departmental authority and as taxpayer, our primary focus is to reduce the mistakes. Our purpose is to do the compliances on time, so that when the taxpayer is got the information that there is any notice, in that case, he or she can file the reply in a proper way within the given time. So you can do this thing. Okay. Now, अभी तक हम लोगों ने self assess the difference between audit and assessment done, self assessment already done, section 39 what are the returns which is covered under section 39 we had already done. Section number 60, that is provisional assessment by the departmental authority, that is deputy or assistant commissioner, we had already done. After that we had started our discussion on the scrutiny of returns, section 61 of CGST Act we had already done, and CGST rules, rule number 98 regarding provisional assessment and rule number 99 regarding the scrutiny of returns we had covered. Now, section number 62 of CGST Act, assessment of non-return filers. Suppose I had taken the registration, and after taking the registration, I am not going to file the return on time, or I had filed the application for cancellation of registration and departmental authority has already passed the order for the cancellation of registration. In that case, I have to file the final return, that is GSTR 10. And if the taxpayer has not filed the final return and not filed the regular returns, in that case, वहां पर सेल्स और परचेज का डेटा टैक्सपेयर ने फाइल नहीं किया, एज अ डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी, दिस इज द पावर इन हैंड ऑफ यू दैट यू कैन टेक the information which is available at your end and you can do the assessment. Okay, whatever will be the information available with you regarding sales and purchase, you can do the assessment. And before finalizing that assessment, you need to give a notice to the taxpayer that, sir, you are liable to file the GST returns for this specific period and you had not filed the return. Hence, we have done your assessment on the basis of the facts which is available with us. And on the basis of those factors, this is the liability will be imposed on hand of you. So if you have any reply, then there is a timeline of 30 days. You can file your reply within 30 days to the department. Okay, and if that taxpayer is going to file the reply within 30 days, and if you are satisfied with that particular reply filed by the taxpayer, in that case you can pass the order regarding the drop the proceedings. But if you are not satisfied with the information provided by that taxpayer, in that case you can start the proceeding under section 73 and 74. That is what is the concept. Can special audit be conducted under scrutiny of returns? That is section 61. No, special audit cannot be done in case of scrutiny of returns. Okay, but while doing the scrutiny of return, if you found any specific issue, if you found any complexity, in that case you can connect with any expert chartered accountant or expert post accountant regarding any specific points. But officially you cannot start the proceeding under special audit because for doing the special audit you need the permission of the assistant commissioner. Okay, in case of scrutiny of returns, while doing the scrutiny of return, you found certain serious facts. आपको ये लगता है कि यहाँ पर revenue leakage है. In that case, you can take note of it. You can consult with the assistant commissioner, and with prior permission to the assistant commissioner, you can go for the special audit also by the chartered accountant or by the. That is what is the. But directly you cannot go for the special audit. Okay, you need to take the permission, and there is certain facts available regarding the complexity of transaction and the nature of transaction and the quantum of the transactions. Okay, now. As per section 62 of CGST Act, if the taxpayer has not filed the return under section 39, that is section 39 के जितने भी returns हैं, we had already completed, and section 45 का final return file नहीं किया है. In that case, departmental authority can pass the order on the basis of the best information which is available in the hand of departmental authority. Sir, what is the timeline in which the final the assessment of non-return filers can be done? Suppose I have a liability regarding financial year 17-18 and I have not filed that particular return. In that case, क्या departmental authority कभी भी assessment of non-return filers कर सकता है, या फिर there is a specific timeline available regarding the assessment of non-return filers? So yes, there is timeline is available. What is the timeline? Suppose for financial year 21-22, for financial year 21-22 के लिए कब तक, अगर if any taxpayer has not filed the return under section 39 for financial year 21-22, in that case, what is the maximum timeline in which departmental authority can do the final assessment? So financial year 21-22 के annual return file करने की due date, the due date to filing the annual return. So for financial year 21-22, the due date for filing the annual return will be on 31st December 2023. So from the filing of due date of filing of annual return till the 5 financial years, 5 years, tax authorities has the power to take the case under assessment as a non-return filers. That is what is the specific provision. Within a period of 5 years from the date specified under section 44 for furnishing the annual return of the financial year, and the due date which is mentioned in section 44 of CGST Act for filing the annual return is your 31st December. Within the date of service of order, अगर वो आकर के आपको रिप्लाई देता है, in that case you need to drop the proceeding against that particular person. You just need to collect the interest from that particular person and late fees. Okay, late fees and interest you need to collect. There is no penalty will be applicable in case of assessment of non-return filers. Now, section 63 of CGST Act in case of assessment of unregistered person. Suppose my turnover got exceeded by the specified limit, and although I had not taken the registration, in that case, as per GST law, I was liable to take the registration, but I had not taken the registration. In that case, departmental authority has the power to do the assessment on the basis of the facts and information available with the tax authorities. And in that case, after doing that assessment, tax authority, that is departmental authority, is going to give you a notice that, sir, your turnover got exceeded by the specified limit and you had not filed the return, you had not registered yourself under GSTN, and on the basis of the fact and information available with us, this is the liability which is pertains to you. In that case, we are going to issue the order. If you want to submit anything in this regard, then you can submit. So you need to give an opportunity of being heard to the taxpayer. आपको सुनवाई का मौका देना पड़ेगा taxpayer को, and after hearing that particular person, if you are not satisfied, in that case you can pass the order under section 73 and 74. And अगर वो unregistered person बोल देता है I am ready to pay the taxes within 30 days from the date of your notice, in that case you need to take the interest and your late fees. Okay, now सर कब तक ये अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन का असेसमेंट कर सकते हैं? सो द क्लोजिंग टाइमलाइन इज सेम एज द टाइमलाइन वाज इन योर सेक्शन नंबर 62, दैट इज असेसमेंट ऑफ नॉन रिटर्न फाइलर्स, दैट इज 5 years फ्रॉम द डेट स्पेसिफाइड इन सेक्शन 44 फॉर फर्निशिंग द रिटर्न. दैट मींस फॉर फाइनेंशियल ईयर 21-22 the due date for file the annual return is your 31st December 2023. So from the date of 31st December 2023, 5 years तक जाकर के assessment of unregistered person हो सकता है. That is what is the liability. At the time of income tax audit हम लोग देखते हैं कई सारे लोगों का turnover exceed हो जाता है and they had not taken the GST number, और वो ये बोलते हैं कि अभी तक तो डिपार्टमेंट का नोटिस नहीं आया, क्या होगा? So the maximum timeline you have is the annual return की due date से 5 years तक का timeline आपके पास में available है. You can pass the order regarding the assessment of unregistered person. So section 59 regarding self assessment, section 60 regarding your provisional assessment, 61 regarding scrutiny of returns, 62 regarding assessment of non-return filers, and section 63 of CGST Act regarding assessment of unregistered person is okay for you. Just comment in the chat box. Approx 60 participants are there, and I want reply from each and everyone that all these 4 concepts, 5 concepts are okay in your mind, so that we can take the next one. रिप्लाई कर दो यार, मुझे तो एक्चुअली इतना सारा बोलना पड़ रहा है. You just need to comment one message in the chat box so that it is a reward for me यार. So please do it. Also, like, share, and subscribe the official YouTube channel of Tax Guru so that each and every taxation related update you got on priority basis. Okay. And if possible, then please like the video. 60 participants are there, then please like the video. Yes, section 62 and 63 is the best judgment assessment. You are going to, departmental authority is going to do the assessment on the basis of the information available with the departmental authority. Now, we are going to take the next section, section number 64 of the GST Act. summary assessment in certain special cases. Summary assessment in certain special cases. Sir, what do you mean by this summary assessment? So in case of summary assessment, here the summary assessment means where the proper officer. I had already shared my WhatsApp number. I am again going to share. Now, section number 64 of CGST Act, that is your summary assessment in certain special cases. What do you mean by that summary assessment? When the proper officer thinks that in this specific case there is a revenue leakage, there is a chances of less payment of tax by the taxpayer. Suppose I am a taxpayer, Sachin Jain, और आप लोगों को लगता है because आज आप सभी लोग departmental authorities मेरे सामने हैं, GST officers मेरे सामने हैं, and if you found that Sachin Jain has not paid the proper tax, although I am paying the proper tax, okay, but you found that Sachin Jain is not going to pay the taxes properly and Sachin Jain is not going to declare the output liability properly. In that case, you have the option that you can go for the summary assessment also. And for doing that summary assessment, if you are a state tax officer, if you are assistant commissioner, in that case, you need to take permission from the additional commissioner and from the joint commissioner. That means for doing that summary assessment, you need to take the permission from the additional commissioner and the joint commissioner. Okay, you need to take the permission from additional commissioner and joint commissioner that sir there is interest of revenue. यहाँ पर ऐसे chances है कि कुछ ना कुछ revenue leakage हुआ है. So for that purposes, we need to do the summary assessment. Okay, in that case, with the permission of additional commissioner and joint commissioner, you can give notice to that particular person that sir, we found certain things in your case, so we are going for the summary assessment in your case. Okay. अब सपोज वहां पर गुड्स, वहां पर समरी असेसमेंट जब आप करने जा रहे हो, यू आर कमिंग टू माय ऑफिस दैट सर वी वांट टू डू योर समरी असेसमेंट, यू हैड इशूड वन नोटिस टू मी. इन दैट केस, Anushka is asking what is flyers, sir? I am not getting the point. So, taxable person to whom the liability pertains is not as certain. आप taxable person नहीं decide कर पा रहे हो in case of summary assessment. Suppose आपने कोई goods जो है retain कर लिया and at that time you are not able to decide the liability. The person के भाई कौन यहाँ पर tax payment के लिए liable है. In that case there is a specific provision is there. The person who is in charge of such goods, जिस पर्सन के पास में वो गुड्स पड़ा है, that person will be deemed to be the taxable person and the complete liability in hand of that particular person. You need to and for doing that summary assessment, you need to give one notice to the taxpayer. Suppose you're thinking that Sachin Jain is not going to pay the proper taxes, so we need to issue a notice, we need to go for the summary assessment. For that purposes, you are first going to issue me the a notice, okay, and you are going to issue with a provisional assessment order. And if I am going to argue with that sir, I had already paid the taxes on time and this is the complete proof is there, and your and in your order there is certain error. So in that case, if additional commissioner or joint commissioner found that this is really an order and Sachin Jain has already paid the taxes properly, in that case they can drop the proceedings, वो उस order को withdraw कर सकते हैं. So for doing the summary assessment, the basic thing is that you need to take the previous permission of additional commissioner and the joint commissioner. And कब आप summary assessment कर सकते हो? When you thought there is a revenue leakage, there is interest of revenue to the government. अगर हमने इसमें कोई delay कर लिया तो who is liable? जो बंदा taxable है वो यहाँ पर liable होगा. And if you are not able to decide the taxable person, in that case the goods जिसके भी हाथ में है, the person who is holding the goods, that person will be liable to pay the taxes. That person will be liable for the summary assessment. At the time of summary assessment, अगर उसने अपना reply file किया and departmental authority, additional commissioner and joint commissioner सोचते हैं कि the order was with error, in that case they can withdraw that particular order within 30 days. Okay, the taxpayer has to file the reply within 30 days. Just wait for a single second. So now we need to discuss on the rules. हमने discuss कर लिया assessment of unregistered person, assessment of non-return filers, and summary assessment. Now we had done what we need to do, how we need to do. For that purpose, we are going to discuss on certain important rules. So rule number 100 of CGST rules talks about the procedure, that how the assessment of non-return filers, assessment of unregistered person, and how the summary assessment can be concluded by the tax authorities. So for that purpose, we are going to start our discussion. So in case of your non-return filers under section 62, departmental authority is going to issue the notice in form GST ASMT 13. That means for the assessment of non-return filers, the taxpayer is going to receive the notice in form GST ASMT 13, and one summary is also uploaded in that, and the summary in form GST DRC 07. And उस summary में क्या होगा? In that particular summary, the tax authority has to mention the facts that this is the transaction, on this behalf we are going to impose the taxes, this is your liability, this is your liability, and all these things. So for doing the assessment of non-return filers, one notice is required in form GST ASMT 13 and with one summary GST DRC 07. For doing the assessment of unregistered person, departmental authority is going to issue the notice in form GST ASMT 14, and one summary is also uploaded in form GST DRC 01. And if after allowing a timeline of 15 days, in case of assessment of unregistered person, there is a specific timeline that in 15 days. If the taxpayer is going to provide the reply within 15 days, in that case, if the departmental authority is going to satisfy with that reply, in that case, departmental authority can withdraw the proceedings. And if the departmental is not getting the appropriate reply, the satisfactory reply within 15 days, in that case, after 15 days, they can pass the order in form GST ASMT 15 and issue the DRC 07. That means in case of non-return filers, notice can be issued in GST ASMT 13 with the summary DRC 07. But in case of assessment of unregistered person, one prior notice is required, assessment ASMT 14. With that, summary is enclosed in form GST DRC 01. Within 15 days, if the person is going to provide the reply, departmental authority can withdraw that order. Okay. But if the person is not going to provide the reply within 15 days, in that case, departmental authority will issue the final assessment order in form GST ASMT 15, and one summary is also enclosed in form DRC 07. Now, in case the order of assessment under section 60, under subsection 61 of section 64, section 64 talks about the summary assessment, which can be done with the previous permission of your additional commissioner. Okay, shall be issued in form GST ASMT 16. So the order of assessment regarding the summary assessment can be issued in form GST ASMT 16 with form DRC 07. And if suppose आप लोगों ने मुझे notice issue किया, departmental authority has issued one notice to me regarding the summary assessment, and I had provided the proper reply to the departmental authority, in that case, departmental authority is going to withdraw that assessment in form. Departmental authority can withdraw that order in form GST ASMT 18, and for before that order, I need to file my reply. So I need to apply, or I need to provide the reply in form GST ASMT 17. So there are complete 3 forms are applicable in case of summary assessment. Departmental authority is going to issue the order in form GST ASMT 16 with the summary in form DRC 07. I need to apply for the withdrawal or application with my grounds section GST ASMT 17 में, and departmental authority is going to issue the order of withdrawal in form GST ASMT 18. That is what is the complete concept. Okay, so हमने GST ASMT 1 से स्टार्ट किया था in case of our provisional assessment. GST ASMT 10, 11 and 12 will be used in case of your scrutiny of returns. GST ASMT 13 will be used in case of non-return filers. GST ASMT 14 will be used 14 and 15 in case of your unregistered person, and 16, 17 and 18 can be used in case of your summary assessment. That is what is the complete concept of assessment. हमने type of assessment से start किया था. We had covered the self assessment under section 59 of CGST Act, provisional assessment under section 60 of CGST Act, scrutiny of returns under section 61 of CGST Act, assessment of non-return filers under section 62 of CGST Act, assessment of unregistered person under section 63 of CGST Act, and our last and most important summary assessment in case of there is any loss of revenue to the government under section 64 of CGST Act. Please comment me in the chat box that all type of assessment, the concept of assessment is completed for you, so that we can start the next discussion, that is our audits by the departmental authority and the special audit. तब तक मैं कुछ क्वेश्चंस रीड आउट कर लेता हूं. Anushka ji, I am not getting your point that how we can get the solution for any problem in case of GST transaction in normal cases where we have to find. If there is any specific issue, you need to take consultation of any specific expert in that field. Okay. So if you are a departmental authority or if you are a taxpayer, if you are a professional, if you are facing any issue, you can connect with me on WhatsApp. There is no issue with that. जो भी possible help होगी, I will give you the help. Navuttam ji asking, can assessment be reopened? This is the basis of the facts and circumstances. Normally, assessment cannot be opened. Assessment एक बार हो गया. Assessment can done by the provisional assessment and all that. In that case, assessment open नहीं होगा. Departmental authority can take the case in scrutiny. There is no issue with that. After the assessment, audit can be done by the departmental authority. Okay, but in normal circumstances, assessment cannot be opened. जैसे income tax में होता है कि income tax authority is going to reopen that particular case. But in case of assessment, वो assessment वहां पे reopen नहीं होगा, but departmental authority can take that particular case under audit. There is no issue with that. Now, जैसा कि हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया था, assessment complete होने के बाद then after we are going to discuss on the types of audit. One audit which is done by the departmental authorities, that is audit by the departmental authorities, audit by the tax authorities. Another audit is your audit by the special audit, that is by the chartered accountant and post accountant on the basis of the nature of the transaction and the complexity of the transaction and on the basis of the quantum of the transaction. So we are going to take first type, section 65 of CGST Act, that is audit by the tax authorities, that is audit by the departmental authorities. We can say it as departmental authority, audit by the departmental personnel. So who can conduct the audit, how we can conduct the audit, how we can start the audit, we are going to discuss on that. Okay. In our today's session, we are just going to discuss the provision with certain practical implications. Okay, how you need to do the audit, what are the financial statement, what other things are required. This is a complete another segment. Okay, we'll plan a separate session for that. Okay, so we'll plan a separate session or separate course for that. We'll decide in future. There is no issue with that. Now, audit by the tax authorities. The commissioner or any officer authorized, that means the audit can only be initiated by the commissioner, and commissioner can give the direction and commissioner can authorize any officers. Assistant commissioner को बोल सकता है, joint commissioner को बोल सकता है, किसी को भी बोल सकता है, but the officer or the person officer authorized by him by way of a journal or specific order. So by way of journal or specific order, if there is any specific situation, in that case departmental authority, that commissioner is going to issue a specific order, and if the situation is journal, in that case the departmental authority, the commissioner is going to issue the journal audit. Order may undertake the audit of any registered person for such period at such frequency in such manner as may be prescribed. So there is no frequencies available. जब चाहे वो आपकी audit कर सकता है, but there is maximum timeline is available. Okay, we are also going to discuss on that. Maximum timeline is available, but किसी भी taxpayer की उस particular timeline के अंदर departmental authority, that is commissioner, can start the audit. Now, conduct the audit at the place of the registered person or in their office. That means this is also in hand of the departmental authority, that is in hand of the commissioner. That commissioner can conduct the audit at the place of the registered person or in his own office. That means there is no requirement to वो आपका जो कमिश्नर है वो आपके ऑफिस आकर के ऑडिट करेगा. डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी, दैट इज कमिश्नर, कैन ऑडिट और द ऑथराइज्ड पर्सन फ्रॉम द कमिश्नर कैन ऑडिट फ्रॉम देयर ऑफिस इटसेल्फ. दे जस्ट नीड टू डिमांड द डॉक्यूमेंट्स. मुझे वो वाला टॉपिक भी कवर करना है कि व्हाट आर द डॉक्यूमेंट्स व्हिच इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर डूइंग द ऑडिट इन अ बेस्ट पॉसिबल वे. विल डिस्कस ऑन दैट. The registered person shall be informed by way of notice not less than 15 working days. Direct audit start नहीं हो सकता है. There is minimum timeline of the doing the notice. Notice period is 15 days. Departmental authorities has to give one minimum 15 days notice. So as a departmental authority, you should also take into your mind, you should take into consideration that before starting the audit, you need to give a 15 days notice to the taxpayer. And after that notice, you can start the. Now, commissioner is satisfied and the audit in all respect registered person cannot be completed within 3 months. So the timeline to complete the audit is 3 months. Okay, जिस दिन audit start with, from the date of commencement of the audit, within 3 months, the departmental authority has to conclude the audit. Okay, departmental authority has to conclude the audit, but commissioner has the power to record the result, to extend the time period for further 6 months. That means audit can be concluded, audit should be completed within 3 months from the commencement of the audit. But if the commissioner is satisfied that there is certain reasons, so commissioner has the power to extend the timeline for further 6 months. Okay, this is the maximum timeline. Now, the most important thing is that वहां पर ये लिखा हुआ है within 3 months from the commencement of the audit. Now, what do you mean by this commencement of the audit? Everything, very important thing is this definition, that is commencement of audit, and this is really very crucial definition. So, just read the word by word. Commencement of audit shall mean the date on which the records and documents called for by the tax authorities are made available by the registered person and actual institution of audit and the business premises, whichever is later. जिस दिन actual physical verification हुआ, the date of physical verification or the documents provided by the taxpayer, whichever is earlier. That means each and everything has to decide that commissioner to complete that timeline, because you have the power. आप कब physical verification करो, आप कब actual constitution उसका जो है business premises पे करो, this is completely depend on you. So as a departmental authority point, this is a favorable point for you. So the maximum timeline to complete the audit is 3 months from the commencement of the audit. Commissioner has the power to give an extension of 6 months. During the audit, departmental authority can demand each and everything. वो आपका place का physical verification कर सकते हैं, and जिस particular specified period से related, for that specific period for which the departmental authority has taken the case for audit, they can demand the documents उससे पहले और उसके आगे के भी documents, किसी भी तरह के किसी fraud को, किसी तरह के किसी error को, किसी आउटपुट टैक्स के कम पेमेंट को, आउटपुट टैक्स के इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट के एक्सेस क्लेम को फाइंड आउट करने के लिए यहां पर वो चेक कर सकते हैं. ऑन द कंक्लूजन ऑफ द ऑडिट, departmental authority is going to share the complete facts with that taxpayer, and before passing that order, the departmental authority has to provide the complete information to the taxpayer, and commissioner has to the taxpayer, the tax authority has to give an opportunity of being heard to that particular person. Okay, and if from that conclusion of the audit there is any excess claim of input tax credit, less payment of output tax, there is any excess availment, there is excess availment of input tax credit, there is excess availment of refund, in that case the departmental authority is going to start the proceeding under section 73 or 74, that is demand and recovery. Now, एक बार कंक्लूड कर लेते हैं वापस इसको, दैट इज सेक्शन 65 ऑफ GST एक्ट, व्हिच इज स्पेसिफिकली एप्लीकेबल इन केस ऑफ डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी. कमिश्नर हैज द पावर टू इनिशिएट द ऑडिट ऑफ द टैक्सपेयर एंड कमिश्नर कैन ऑथराइज अनदर पर्सन. ओके, commissioner have to give, that is the tax authority has to give minimum 15 days notice to the taxpayer. The timeline to conclude the audit is 3 months from the date of commencement of the audit, and commissioner can extend the period by 6 months. All the information demanded by that tax authorities, the taxpayer has to give all the required documents. After the conclusion of the audit, departmental authority has to give an opportunity of being heard to the taxpayer, and after hearing and after conclusion, if there is any excess availment of input tax credit, wrong claim of refund, less payment of output tax liability, in that case the proceeding under section 73 and 74 can be initiated. What do you mean by this auditor? You are talking for the special auditor, that is chartered accountant, post accountant, or you are talking for the GST authorities or departmental authorities? Departmental authorities can go for the physical verification, manufacturing area, and all that. In case of special audit, chartered accountant, post accountant can also visit the business premises area, but they require prior permission of the departmental authority. Now, one question was that what is the documents we need to demand while doing that audit, while doing that business audit. So I want to share certain important things. Okay. Before starting the audit, this is your responsibility. You just need to first study the nature of the industry. Okay. After that, you need to demand the financial statement. Financial statement plays a very important role. Financial statement plays a very important role. When you are going to check the financial statement of that entity with the particular things, there are certain techniques are available. And with the help of those techniques, you can easily identify maximum revenue leakages from the analysis of financial statement. Okay. So you need to do the financial statement. For that purpose, you need to demand the financial statement. After that, you need to demand multiple reconciliations from GSTR 3B and 1, GSTR 2B and GSTR 3B. RCM reconciliations are there. Reversals regarding 17.5 are there. Reversal regarding 42, 43 you need to take. If in that particular industry there is any reversal on account of rule number 42 and 43, that is on account of input service and capital goods, in that case you need to demand the calculation of that reversal in rule number 42 and 43, and you need to do that calculation yourself. Compare the data from the GSTN portal, from the e-way portal. I am again saying reconciliations are important, but you cannot say that reconciliation are the things on the basis of we are going to do the audit. You need to check certain other things. Sales जिसकी HSN code से match हो रही है. First, you need to check the GST registration certificate also. Each and every additional place of business is mentioned in that particular registration certificate. The HSN code is mentioned in that particular registration, is used by that particular taxpayer. उसकी purchasing को आपको check करना पड़ेगा. You need to take the creditors ledger and you need to check the payment cycle within 180 days. Okay. You need to check the debtors ledger. You need to check the profit and loss account carefully. There is any other expenditure is there. You need to check the complete trial balance of that particular person. Okay. You need to check the interest head. You need to check the various heads and other business activities from the financial statement, from the ledger extract, from that rule number 42, 43, from the blocked credit. You need to check the purchase register also. These are the basic things you need to demand at the time of audit. So just give me one reply that the concept of audit section 65 of CGST Act regarding the departmental audit by the departmental authority and the documents which is required while doing the audit is okay for all of you, so that we can talk on the next special topic, that is special audit by the chartered accountant or by the cost accountant. I am not going to take your much more time. Within 20 to 25 minutes or within half an hour, जो time हमने दिया है, we will conclude the session. There is no issue with that. Just I want your reply in the chat box that each and everything is okay. हमने assessment के सारे type and the departmental authority we had already covered. Now, the next point is there. Actually, comment और message करवाने के पीछे logic भी है. There is one logic behind this. because you all are departmental authorities or certain are professionals also. So कई बार क्या होता है, यू आर डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटीज ऑन ऑल दैट, और कई बार क्या होता है कि आप लोग कुछ, जब आप दिन भर तो उलझे हुए रहते हो, मैक्सिमम वीक डेज के अंदर यू आर एंगेज्ड इन मल्टीपल थिंग्स. सो नाउ टुडे इज संडे एंड संडे वी आर गोइंग टू टेक द सेशन. ओके, सो आप लोग कहीं उसको स्किप नहीं कर दो. हेंस आई एम सेइंग दैट योर कमेंट्स आर रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दिस सेशन, फॉर द एफिशिएंट एंड इफेक्टिव सेशन. ओके, एंड मुझे ये लगता रहे कि मेरे सामने कोई ना कोई है जो हाँ नहीं बोल रहे हैं. ओके, एंड इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट, इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन, यू आर फ्री टू रेज द सेम इन द चैट बॉक्स. नाउ स्पेशल ऑडिट कैन बी डन बाय द चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट इन केस स्पेशल ऑडिट के लिए the empanelment, that is the selection of the special audit, is done by the assistant commissioner. जहां पर where assistant commissioner found due to the nature of the transaction, the complexity of the transaction, the quantum of the transaction, जहां पर ये लगता है कि to save the interest of the revenue of the government, assistant commissioner can approach to the special auditors, that is chartered accountant and cost accountant, for doing that special audit. Okay, and चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट एंड पोस्ट अकाउंटेंट नॉमिनेट होते हैं पहले ही. एम्पेनल्ड जो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट एंड पोस्ट ऑडिटर्स होते हैं, इन द एम्पेनल्ड सीए फॉर्म्स होती है और पोस्ट अकाउंटेंट फॉर्म्स होती है विद गवर्नमेंट, यू कैन अप्रोच विद दैट. असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर कैन अप्रोच विद दैट, एंड दैट चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट एंड पोस्ट अकाउंटेंट हैज टू कंप्लीट द ऑडिट विद इन 90 days फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द ऑडिट. ओके, विद इन 90 days. एंड असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर हैज पावर and assistant commissioner has power that assistant commissioner can extend that period by further 90 days. That means chartered accountant, post accountant has to complete the audit within 90 days. Okay, but assistant commissioner has to power to give an additional amount of time, that is 90 days. And आप ये नहीं बोल सकते हो कि हमारी ऑडिट इनकम टैक्स में हो गई है, we had already done the income tax audit, we had already done the complete company audit. No, whatever audit you had done, if the assistant commissioner is saying that the special audit has to be done in your case, in that case special audit should be done, must be done. That is what is the provision of section 66 subsection 3. Other provisions of this act, any other law, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, you need to do the audit. For concluding the audit or for passing the audit, you need to give an opportunity of being heard to the taxpayer, and this task is to be done by the tax authorities. Okay, you need to submit your report to the assistant commissioner is going to give that opportunity to the being heard before taking any decision in this case. Okay, now the expenditure, as a chartered accountant, मेरा क्या मोटिव होगा कि आई एम डूइंग द ऑडिट फॉर अ रेम्यूनरेशन. सो इन दैट केस हु इज प्रोवाइडिंग विद द रेम्यूनरेशन? सो द कमिश्नर, द जीएसटी डिपार्टमेंट, द कमिश्नर इज गोइंग टू डिटरमाइन दैट remuneration, and also the payment of that remuneration is also done by the commission. After the conclusion of the audit and after the opportunity of being given to that particular taxpayer, if there is any excess availment of input tax credit, less payment of output tax, and excess claim, wrong claim of refund, in that case departmental authority is going to initiate proceedings under section 73 and 74 against you. That means special audit can be suggested by the assistant commissioner. Okay, and special audit can be done by the chartered accountant and the post accountant. Within 90 days, chartered accountant, post accountant has to complete that audit. Further extension can be given for further 90 days. Okay, the remuneration will be decided by the commissioner and payment also done by the commissioner. Before finalizing the audit, the opportunity of being heard should be given to the departmental authorities, and after conclusion of the audit, the proceeding under section 73, 74 will be initiated against the taxpayer. So that is what is the complete segment of your special audit. So we had done the types of audit. We had discussed that there is two types of audit are available. Departmental audit and special audit. So we had already completed the same. Now we are going to discuss on a very important topic. since beginning of the session हम लोग डरा रहे हैं that if the taxpayer is not going to make the payment, if taxpayer has excess avail the tax credit, less payment of tax, or the taxpayer has wrongly claimed the refund, in that case we are going to initiate the proceeding under section 73 and 74 of CGST Act. Now the question arises, sir, what is the proceeding which is mentioned in that section 73 and 74 of CGST Act? And for that purpose, we are going to start our discussion on section number 73 and 74 of CGST Act. So now, as per section 73 of CGST Act, all the cases which is not related to any fraud, jahan par, where suppose I am a taxpayer and I have done the less payment of tax and I had excess claimed the input tax credit, or I had wrongly claimed the refund on account of input tax credit, in that case, if there was no any intention to fraud, there is no any material misstatement, there is no any suppression of facts, मैंने कोई fact suppress नहीं किया है, मैंने कोई material misstatement नहीं किया है, मैंने कोई fraud नहीं किया है, in that case I can take the reference of the proceeding will be initiated under section 73. Okay, so we need to decide the same on the basis of the nature of case. Okay, case to case it differ करेगा कि proceeding will be start under section 73 or 74. So if there is no any fraud, there is no any suppression of fact, there is no any material misstatement, in that case proceeding can be initiated under section 73. And if there is any fraud, material misstatement and suppression of facts, in that case proceeding will be initiated under section 74. So now, what is the difference between section 73 and 74? So conclusively, I can say basically in one line, if I need to say the difference between section 73 and 74, in case of 73, there is no fraud, no suppression of fact, no misstatement. In section 74, there is suppression of fact, misstatement, or there is fraud. And what is the difference between provisions? In case of section 73, there is less amount of penalty, and in case of section 74, there is a huge amount of penalty. So basically, there is difference of penalty only. That is what is the concept of section 73 and 7. Now, we are going to read the concept of section 73. Whenever there is a shortcase or error in refund, whenever there is excess claim of input tax credit, in that case, departmental authority can serve you a notice. And वो आपसे बोलेंगे, departmental authority is going to say that you had done this mistake while filing your return. So why we are not going to collect the interest from you? That means first departmental authority is going to give you the notice regarding section 73. Now question arises, sir, what is the maximum timeline in which departmental authority can done that particular assessment? What is the maximum timeline? सेक्शन 73 के अंदर उसको कब तक जो है प्रोसीडिंग को कंक्लूड करना है? So I am just going to take the example, and with the help of that example I am going to explain the timeline. Suppose for financial year 2021-22 के लिए, financial year 2021-2023 के लिए departmental authority is going to take the decision under section 73. So what is the timeline in that? What is the maximum timeline in that case? Departmental authority can pass the order under section 73 from the due date of filing of the annual return. So for financial year 21-23, the due date for filing of the annual return is your 31st December 2023. I need to file my annual return regarding financial year 2021-2023, 2021-2022 till 31st December 2023. In that case, from that date, 3 years after the completion of 3 years, that means 31st December 2023 is the last date by which departmental authority has to conclude the proceeding under section 73. उसको conclude करने का time है. This time is the time for conclusion. So what is the last date to give the notice regarding section 73? कब तक वो section 73 का notice दे सकती है? So इस timeline के expire होने से 3 month पहले तक, that is 30th September 2026 तक departmental authority can issue the notice regarding section 73, that is where there is no fraud, no material misstatement. This example and this timeline is clear for you because this is an timeline. So I just want your reply that this timeline is clear for you. From the due date of filing of annual letter, say 3 years ka timeline hai. In that period, departmental authority has to conclude the proceeding under section 73. Then question arises, what is the timeline to issue the notice? So before expiring that time, 3 months before the expiring timeline, यहाँ तक क्या कर सकती है? Departmental authority can issue the notices under section 73. सर इसके लिए आप मुझे कमेंट कर दे, so that because थोड़ा सा न्यूमेरिकल है, so I just want your comment in the chat box that sir this is okay for us. Now, section 73 subsection 2 says 3 months prior to the timeline, and timeline we had already discussed. Now, with the notice of section 73, departmental authority is also going to submit a statement. In that statement, departmental authority is going to give you the details regarding the transactions on which they are going to initiate the proceeding under section 73. That means, as a departmental authority, if you are going to issue a notice under section 73, in that case, this is your responsibility. You should submit a statement. In that case, you need to mention the facts that this is the transaction, or on the behalf of this transaction, we are going to issue the notices. You need to give the details. Now, next point, जो आपने notice दिया है, the notice you had issued, just grounds पे, whatever will be your grounds on the basis of which you had issued the notices, the grounds for the notice and the grounds for the statement should be same. Suppose you are going to give you the notice regarding the excess availment of input tax credit, and in the statement you are going to give the details regarding the less payment of output tax. This is not correct. So as per section 73 subsection 3 and as per section 73 subsection 4 of CGST Act, that the grounds of the statement and grounds of the section notice should be same. Section 73 subsection 5 saying that if the taxpayer is going to pay the tax before service of the notice, whose taxpayer ko, suppose there is any initiation of proceeding under section 73, whenever there is a proceeding initiated under section 73, one intimation is given by the department. Okay, and on account of that intimation, if I am going to make the payment of taxes, in that case, departmental authority is going to drop the proceedings, and I just need to pay the tax amount, interest amount, and late fees amount. There is no penalty will be applicable. Okay, suppose after issuing the notices, if I am going to make the payment within 30 days from the date of the notice, अगर मैं 30 days के notice period में भी उसका payment कर देता हूँ, in that case also there is no penalty will be imposed by the tax authorities. Okay, and suppose if there is a liability of 1 lakh rupees, department has issued notice for 1 lakh rupees, and I had already paid 70,000 rupees within the 30 days from the date of the issue of invoices. In that case, departmental authority just issue the notice for 30,000 rupees, जिसका मैंने payment कर दिया है, उसके लिए departmental authority is not going to issue the issue the notices for that 70,000 rupees which I had already paid. Okay. If you require session on any specific point, you can WhatsApp me that particular point. I will plan that session. There is no issue with that. Okay. Section 73 is okay. Section 75 is okay. Section 73 subsection 5 is okay. And if next point, if you are not going to make the payment within 30 days from the issue of the notices, in that case, there is a penalty provision is there. Okay. In that case, you need to pay the penalty, and the penalty will be tax, interest, and the penalty equivalent to 10% of the tax and 10,000 rupees, whichever is higher. 10% of the tax and 10,000 rupees, whichever is higher. That means if the case is covered under section 73 of CGST Act, if you are going to make the payment, if the taxpayer is going to make the payment within 30 days, in that case, there is no penalty. You just need to pay the interest. If the taxpayer is going to make the payment within 30 days, in that case, also there is no penalty. But if the taxpayer is not going to make the payment within 30 days, that is, if the taxpayer is going to make the payment after 30 days, in that case, there is a penalty will be applicable, which is 10% of the tax or 10,000 rupees, whichever is higher. will share you the PPT. You just need to text me on my WhatsApp number, so I will share with you the PPT also. There is no issue with that. Section 73 subsection 10 talks about the maximum timeline. We had already discussed that from the expiry of फाइलिंग ऑफ ड्यू डेट ऑफ एनुअल रिटर्न 3 इयर्स का टाइमलाइन है, तो मैंने उसको टाइमलाइन के जरिए आपको समझा दिया. सो आई देयर इज नो रिक्वायरमेंट टेक दैट. ओके, नाउ conclusively we are going to conclude the section number 73 of CGST Act. As per section 73 of CGST Act, this is applicable in normal cases. That means where no fraud, no suppression of fact, no material misstatement is involved. In that case, the section 73 will be applicable, and as per section 73, departmental authority is going to issue the notices. The timeline, maximum timeline is 3 years from the due date of filing of the annual return for that particular financial year. This is the timeline for conclusion of audit, and notice से 3 महीने पहले दिए जा सकते हैं. Penalty we had already covered. So that is what is the complete concept of section 73. If you have any doubt, if you have any question, then raise the question, raise the doubt in the chat box. I will solve your doubt, and if there is no doubt, in that case you just need to comment in the chat box that this concept is okay. Now we are going to start the last topic of our today's webinar, section 74 of CGST Act, which will be applicable in case there is any material misstatement, there is any fraud, there is any suppression of acts. In that case, section 74 will be applicable. Section 74 will be applicable in case of there is any material misstatement, there is any suppression of fact, there is any wrongly availment of input tax credit on account of material misstatement, suppression of facts, and there is any fraud. In that case, if the departmental authority thinks that there is any material misstatement, suppression of facts, and the fraud involved, and due to that the taxpayer has excess claimed input tax credit, wrongly availed the refund, and less payment of output tax, in that case they can start the proceeding under section 74. In case of 74, what is the timeline to start the proceeding, and what is the timeline to conclude the proceeding, and what is the timeline to issue the notices? So we are going to discuss the same with the help of one example. Yes, in case of scrutiny of notices, that is GST A 10, and if there is any interest arising due to GSTR 9, that means अगर कोई liability GSTR 9 में declare किया and taxpayer has not paid the taxes, not paid the interest amount, in that case you can go for the proceeding under your GST A 10. Okay, scrutiny of returns. If the taxpayer wants to start the proceeding under section 74, in that case, what is the timeline? Suppose for financial year, के लिए उसको proceeding start करनी है. The taxpayer wants to start the proceeding under section 74 for financial year 2021, 2023, 2022. In that case, the due date for filing the annual return will be on 2023. इस तारीख से, इस डेट से 5 years में, within the timeline of 5 years from the due date of filing of the annual return for that particular financial year, departmental authority has to conclude the proceeding under section 74. 5 years means 31st December 2028. So this is the maximum timeline in which departmental authority has to conclude the proceeding under section 74. Now question arises, sir, कब तक departmental authority can issue the notices regarding section 74? In that case, the timeline is 6 months prior. That means 31st July 2028 तक departmental authority can issue the notices for the proceeding under section 74. That means in case of 73, the maximum timeline was 3 years from the due date of filing of annual return for the relevant financial year. In case of section 74, the time has exceeded, the time has extended. The timeline is your 5 years from the due date of filing of the annual return for the relevant financial year, and this is also a logical concept, because in case of fraud हो सकता है timeline extend मिलने चाहिए departmental authority को to initiate and conclude the proceeding, because in case of fraud, misstatement and suppression of facts वो थोड़ा सा late identify होते हैं. So for providing the details regarding the revenue leakages and all that. This extension is here, the timeline is here. The timeline of section 74 is okay for you? Yes, sorry, sorry, Radheshji. For financial year 21-22 to file the annual return, the due date for filing the annual return will be 2027, and to conclude the proceeding will be on 31st December 2027, and 31st July 2027 will be the date for the commencing the proceeding under section 74. राजेश जी लाइव मतलब एकदम जाग करके देख रहे हैं सेशन को, so that, and thank you. हमको भी चेक करना होता है कौन कौन जाग करके इस सेशन को देख रहा है, उन्होंने इस पॉइंट को पॉइंट आउट किया. दैट्स गुड. फॉर फाइनेंशियल ईयर 21-22 द फाइलिंग ऑफ एनुअल रिटर्न, द ड्यू डेट फॉर फाइलिंग योर एनुअल रिटर्न विल बी ऑन 31st December 2022, and with after 5 years, that is 31st December 2027, and उससे 6 महीने पहले तक departmental authority can initiate the proceeding, can allot the notices, can issue the notices regarding section 74. Now we are coming to the topic. With the notice section 74 subsection 3, department is going to provide the statement containing the details. Okay, whenever departmental authority is going to issue the notices under section 74, in that case they are also going to issue the statement, and in that statement the details regarding your liability will be there. Okay, grounds will be same. Section 73 and 74 is completely same. Okay, just difference is the amount of penalty and timeline to issue the notices and conclude the proceeding. वहां पर 3 years है, यहाँ पर 5 years है. So in case of section 74 subsection 4, ground should be same. जो notice में grounds होंगे, the ground should be same. Now section 74 subsection 5 says that when the taxpayer is going to pay the taxes before issuing the notices by the departmental authority, in that case, before issuance of the notice, in that case the penalty will be 15% of the tax on the basis of the own. उसने खुद ने decide किया है, उस amount पे उसको 15% of the tax payment करना है. Departmental authority is going to issue the intimation before issuing the notices under section 74, and on receipt of that intimation, if the taxpayer is going to make the payment of taxes, in that case there is a penalty of just 15% of the tax amount, और tax amount भी taxpayer खुद जो decide करता है. Now if the taxpayer has already paid the taxes, in that case departmental authority is not going to issue any notices. Suppose again the liability was 1 lakh rupees and the taxpayer is just going to make the payment of 70,000 rupees. In that case departmental authority is going to initiate the proceeding under section 74 for the balance 30,000 only. That means you are getting the notices for 30,000 only. If the taxpayer is going to make the payment within 30 days from the issue of the notices, in that case the interest, the penalty will be 25% of the tax amount. That means if the taxpayer is going to make the payment before issuing the notices, in that case penalty will be 15% of tax. If the taxpayer is going to make the payment after expiry of 30 days, within 30 days, in that case there is a payment of penalty will be 25%. And if the taxpayer is going to make the payment of taxes after expiry of 30 days from the date of the issue of the notices, in that case penalty will be 50% of the tax. That means there is total 3 types of penalties are there in case of section 74. If the case is covered under section 74, and if the taxpayer is going to make the payment before issuing the notices, in that case penalty will be 15% of tax. If the taxpayer is going to make the payment within 30 days from the issue of the date of notice, in that case the penalty will be 25% of the tax. And if the taxpayer is going to make the payment after 30 days of the date of issue of the notice, in that case the penalty will be 50% of the tax amount. (50% of the tax amount). That is what is the concept of section 73 and 74. If the notice is issued by the departmental authority, in that case you need to go for the appeal. Okay, you have the option to file an appeal application. You can go for appeal. Now, in our today's session, we had covered the complete concept of audit and assessment. We had started our discussion from the basic concept, that is the definition of audit and assessment. We had done the types of assessment, that is self-assessment under section 59, provisional assessment under section 60. 61 is related to your scrutiny of returns. We had covered the section number 62, assessment of non-return filers. Section number 63, assessment of unregistered persons. Section number 64, that is summary assessment. After that, we had started our discussion on the various types of audit. One audit is done by the departmental authorities under section 65, and 66 is related to your special audit. And after that, we had started discussion on the concept of section 73 and 74, that is demands and recovery. Section 73 will be applicable in case of your Section 73 will be applicable in case of your non-fraud cases. There is no material misstatement. And in case of section 74, the case will be applicable in case of material misstatement, in case of suppression of fact, in case of there is any fraud. Timeline, penalty, everything we had covered. Okay. If you have any question, if you have any doubt, you can comment in the chat box, or for further queries, you can connect with me over WhatsApp, and you can comment in the type box of this session. I am just requiring your feedback for this session. Whatever will be your feedback, just comment your feedback in the WhatsApp group, on WhatsApp, or on the live chat also, or to the comment box of the Text Guru YouTube channel. And also one request, subscribe this YouTube channel and like this video. Okay, so thank you for your patience learning, and we'll meet in another webinar, another seminar. So thank you all, and I'm going to sign off for our today's session. Thank you.